Yo, welcome to your video lesson on solving inequalities. I know you're all excited about this and it's about to happen. So, this is a little brush up on everything you need to know about solving an inequality. I hope you're excited as I am because we're about to get started. Get ready, baby birds. I'm about to feed you. So, for our first question over here, there's a list of steps that we must follow. Write it as a sentence. Draw a number line and graph the solution on a number line. Alright? That might not make sense yet, but it will in a second. Alright? So, right here we have x is greater than 5. Alright? Now, the way I just said that, we're going to write it down. So, we would actually write x, and instead of saying is, we're going to say must be greater than 5. Why is it greater than? Well, remember, this is like an alligator. Maybe you learned it this way. And the alligator's hungry. That's the alligator mouth. So he always eats the bigger thing. So Mr. Alligator is pointing at the x. So he eats the x. So we know x must be greater than 5. Alligator eats the bigger thing. Alright? So then we draw a number line, which I did for you. You're welcome. And we go to it. And we find the number 5. Alright? And you might remember this, since it's just greater than and not equal to, you have to draw an open circle. So we're going to draw an open circle at 5, and greater than is going to go in this direction. So we just fill it in this way, and that is how it is done. Maybe make it a little prettier. Okay? So if you follow these 3 steps, you're going to be great for this lesson. This is really the key to it. Step 1. Write it as a sentence, as we did here. Always do this. Step 2, you're going to draw your number line. 3, graph it. And this visual is so helpful. And remember, if it's just greater than not equal, it's an open circle. Let's keep drawing these, okay? Let's see if we get used to this. For our second one, this is x is less than or equal to negative 3. How do I know it can be equal to? Well, it has this little line right here that tells me that it could also be equal to. And how does I know it's less than? Because the alligator mouth is pointing at the negative 3. So x must be less than negative 3. So let's write that as a sentence. X must be, I love that, just put the must be. Alright? Less than or equal to. Alright, now we got our sentence. We go down here. We're going to fill it in as a dot this time. Why? Because it can be equal to, so it can be on the negative 3. And if it's less than, it's going to go in this direction. Boom! How you liking that? That's how you do some math right there. Okay? And that's the visual representation of a solution. And remember, what this is saying is that any number less than negative 3 makes this sentence true. Okay? So negative 5. That's okay. Negative 10, that is less than negative 3. Negative 1,000,000 is less than negative 3. So any number less than negative 3 will make this true. Chuck. And for our final one, you'll see that these numbers are reversed. Usually it's like the x here and the 2 here. It's reversed on purpose, and I want to tell you why. Alright? This confuses people, but it's not going to confuse you now because you're going to be a freaking pro at this. Here's what I like to say. Always start with your x. With our sentence, we're not going to say 2 is less than x. Don't say that. I know it's pointing at 2 is less than x, but what you want to do is only start with the x, okay? That's our key. We really care about this guy. And what you say is x is greater than, right, because the alligator mouth is pointing at the x. X is greater than 2. Always start your sentence with the x. Look at the x, which is right here, and then look at the relationship. X is greater than, alligator is eating him, 2. So x must be greater than 2. This is an open circle because it doesn't have the equal to sign. It's greater than, so it goes this direction. And blam. Does this make sense? It's always good to test your answers. If I had 6 for x, let's just pick a number on this number line. Let's put 6 in. Is 6 greater than 2? Yes, we know we're doing the right thing. Alright, so that's the beginning stages. Now let's get into the nitty gritty, right? And this is solving inequality equations. Now, it's just the same exact thing as solving a regular equation, but there's just small things that you have to pay attention to, okay? And really, a small thing is only one thing, I think. Yeah, one thing. So, we're going to do this exactly the same way we solved regular equations. All right, you're going to put a line down the middle, right? And over here. And you'll see our steps. It's the same exact thing, but the first step is solve the equation. All right, and I'm assuming we're getting good at that. We're going to put the variables on the variable side, the numbers on the number side. If you look over on this side, this is the only side with variables, so let's put variables here. We're going to put numbers here. Great. Let's start with distributing the -4 to the 3 and the x. So we get -12 minus 4x is greater than -32. We want to keep moving things to the number side, so the -4x is fine, that's our variable, but the 12 is a number, so let's move it on over. So we're going to add 12 to both sides. Oh. And you should get, that cancels, -4x is greater than -20. Final step, and I want you to pay really close attention here. Right now you should be dividing by -4, which we will do. Okay? When you divide by a negative, you switch the direction of your inequality. Don't forget that. That's the biggest thing here. So you divide by -4, you get x is less than, and -20 divided by -4 is 5. That's the key step here, okay? I'm going to say that one more time. When you divide by a negative, and only divide, when you are dividing by a negative, you switch the sign. And that's it. That's huge. That's huge. Got me? So, we're not done yet, because now we got to graph our inequality, so we're going to draw our number line. Let's actually draw it this time. Weep. Okay, hopefully you draw a better one than I do. Put all your hash marks, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I know it's ugly. Hopefully you did a much prettier one. 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. Since it is just less than, oh, I forgot the most important part. We gotta write this as a sentence, and that's x must be less than 5. X must be less than 5. Now you do the number line. Now we're gonna graph it. Open circle, less than's going this way. Let's do it in a different color. And you are good to go. Please do this prettier than I did. It's much harder to write on a computer. Final question. This is the real challenge problem. Pay attention. This might help you on today's exit ticket, which is big points. I'm being very clear here. Pay attention. This will be very similar to the exit ticket. All right? To solve this. All right? Same thing as we always do, but you know what? For now, let's distribute first, okay? That's the hard thing, okay? We're going to solve. So first step is going to be distribute. So it's greater than or equal to -6, and then we're going to distribute this -7. Now here's the big thing here. This is where people always mess up. Since this is -7, you're going to distribute -7 to both of these, the whole thing. So we're going to distribute -7 to both of these. That might help you later. I'm being very clear. So -7 times 5x is -35x. -7 times 6 is plus 42. A negative times a negative. Alright. As we have learned, oh, that's an x, we're going to combine like terms where we can. Okay? So if we look on this side, we have two like terms. We have our -6x and we have a -35. Okay? So let's bring everything down. -5x plus 6 is greater than or equal to, and we're going to combine our like terms. And remember, I'm combining like terms because if they're on the same side of the equation, and only if they're on the same side of the equation do we combine. -6 plus -35 is -41x plus 42. Alright, now we're just going to solve like we normally do. Alright, so we're going to put variables on one side, numbers on the other. Alright, well this looks like a bigger number, so let's put the variables here and numbers here. Okay, if this is the variable side, we're going to add the 5x over, so let's add our 5x over. So plus 5x plus 5x. These cancel. Let's bring down the 6. It's greater than or equal to negative 41. X plus 5x is negative 36x plus 42. Well, this is our number side, so let's bring the 42 to our number side now. Just bringing it over the sides now, solving like a regular equation. When you do 6 minus 42, you get negative 36. It's greater than or equal to negative 36x. Final step, divide by negative 36. Dividing by negative 36, that cancels, so we get x. And check this out right here. Check this out. We're going to flip it because we divided by a negative, right? And negative 36 divided by negative 36 is positive 1. So that used all our skills now. We had to flip it. We had to divide by a negative. We did all that crazy stuff. And x is still on this side. So we're going to transfer this into a sentence, then graph our solution set. So this says, remember, we just look at the x. X is greater than or equal to, because the alligator is eating it, 1. So x is greater than, must be greater than or equal to 1. Draw your number line, put your hashes. We're going to put a 1 over here. Since x must be greater than or equal to, it's over here, and it goes up. Hash, 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 hash. Alright, you're on your own, guys. Once you're done with this video, move on to the Khan Academy assignment. The link is right underneath the video. Good luck.